Hi everybody. In this video we're going to take a look at how to beat the Act 2 Elite, the Book of Stabbing, using the Defect. Notable relics in play. Start each fight with extra focus. For a channel build this is critical. And ultimately if I get a curse I gain max health. That's not really for this particular fight per se, but in the grand scheme of my deck that will help me build up my health pool a little bit. Otherwise, the only other thing that starts out in play here is the bag of marbles. Everything else is just after the piece. There is one here, I guess if I deal 4 or less, it's going to increase to 5. So if I'm doing less damage, it will increase more, but I don't really count on this. I have 2 potions, a block potion, not block per se, but dexterity, and I have a focus potion. Focus potion may come into play here because if I don't get my extra focus cards, which is the defragment, if I don't get these out soon, it might be hard to garner enough energy to win this fight, just because I'm not going to be putting out a lot of damage. Electrodynamics is not as critical for this fight as it is with others because there's multiple enemies. The only benefit to playing this is I would get 3 channeled lightning out of it. So it's expensive, but I would get it cheaper than a normal regular lightning, even though this one is a 0 cost. Normally it costs to channel lightning, and since I'm a channel build, 2 to get 3 is a fair trade-off. So I'd be looking to get this whenever, and it forces manually evoking on the orbs that you do have. So when it comes to this guy here, you want to kill him essentially as quick as possible. His attacks, he essentially never stops attacking. So if you can't put out the damage to take this 160 down, you're kind of stuck. So if you have things that put vulnerable on him, great. I'm going to have to play compile driver right away because I at least get something out of that. And then I'm going to draw a card as well. So I gotta defend. I'm gonna just soak this first one and try and get some stuff out here. I do want to channel. Now where do I want this darkness? That's a big question that you have to consider yourself with your rotations. I want this to have a chance to charge up at least a little bit. So the smart play is to put frost first and get that one out there. And put darkness after it. And so now this one here will have a couple of turns to build up, and hopefully when it counts, this one here will come and do whatever, 24 damage or even better possibly. So you're at the mercy of your deck. If you have too big of a deck, it might be tough to come up with the cards you need, but you do need to be pretty attack centric. It's not saying you can't block. It's just he's going to put out so much damage that blocking is going to feel like it's ineffective. So your best bet is to kill him as soon as possible because his attacks essentially just get stronger with every single turn. And so it's going to get to the point where you can't block. Having focus on your frost slots will help mitigate some of that damage, but it's not going to completely remove it. Alright, so let's take this first little bit here. We're going to get hit for 9 total. That's not terrible. And then he throws these wounds in there too. I forgot about that. So it's going to make your ultimately your job a little bit tougher. Now this here is my example of a perfect turn because I can essentially play everything. I can defragment, and I played these first because then I get the extra damage out of this evoking when it comes up. If I would have played this first, I would have wasted the extra bonus that I got for adding to focus. So we'll play that, and then we'll just soak just a little bit of damage, and then this here will save for another turn. So he did 18 that time, and I blocked a little bit. I'm still okay health-wise, but his attacks are going up. He's going to do more of them, and it looks like for the most part this is going to end up being a defensive turn. With a couple things in play here. I think first and foremost, channel that frost, and that moves the darkness down to here. So we're pretty much strong-armed into using dual cast here. It's going to give us some good damage output from this here, because honestly, I don't know when this is going to come back around again. So while I could save the channel and get another 11 next time and do 35. It's a cost benefit analysis is what it is. So I have 2 defenses that I could use. I could do 9 and 5 is 14, 24, and 31. So I can block this entire turn. That might be the smarter play and just let this grow a little bit and hope that this comes back around sooner rather than later. Because we do want to get out of this relatively unharmed, because I do have a little bit to go yet. I am going to be able to heal, but I would like to be able to smith at one of these spots here. Alright, so now we can block that entire turn, and then hopefully the next turn we're going to be sitting good. Alright, so we don't have the ability to dual cast. That didn't come back up because we didn't exhaust our deck. However, we are able to do a couple of things. So this actually isn't a terrible turn. I'm going to be able to channel 3 lightning. So keep in mind that what that's going to do. That's going to force this one out, 35 damage. This is going to force out for 13. That's 48 damage. There's going to be 3 of these in play, which is 24. He's going to hit me basically 6 times or 4 times, and it's going to channel lightning every time. That's going to be 16 damage per. It's going to be a pretty solid turn. I'm going to take some damage, no doubt, but I think it's going to be worth it. So there's the opening wave. We have the 3 things in play, and now we're going to have a little bit of blocking, and then he's going to take some damage here. So just watch that just pile up. That was my passive, and this here is going to be just enough to throw some heat on him. And there he goes. So all things considered, that was a fantastic run. Timing out the dark orbs is incredibly difficult, especially for a boss fight. If you have a lot of stuff where you can force the manual channeling and evoke things at your discretion, obviously that helps quite a bit. I try to keep those things in the chamber as long as possible, because if you're focusing and getting those dark orbs out too soon, their damage is so negligible compared to a buffed up lightning orb. So, like I said, the main thing though is his attacks get stronger and stronger every time he's basically takes turn. So unless you have some serious blocking, you want to pump out as much attack as possible. For the defect, that means trying to get the lightning orbs out. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to be fortunate enough to have the focus ones. Getting these +4 focus, that's hard to do anywhere. So you may not even have this card, let alone 2 of them. At which point you're going to have to just micromanage your other cards a little bit better and hope for the best. But at this point, because we're 2/3 of the way through Act 2, you should have some decent relics at this point. Hopefully some potions to go off of as well. If not, you're probably setting yourself up for a failed run anyways. But we're at a good spot here because we're going to get some heals in, and then we're going to go into the Act 2 boss relatively safe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave those below. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.